Well, hello everyone, Lock Garden Bread Lady here coming to you guys with the video, and I had made up my mind I was not doing any videos this week, but I was just going back and I was trying to reply to the comments that you guys have left on my previous videos, and I have received so many requests to do a part 3 of the Being Ugly series. You guys seem to really like that series, so I decided that I would do a part 3 of the Being Ugly video series. I decided that I would do a part 3 of the Being Ugly series, and this one here I wanted to kind of focus on I guess texturism, if that's a word, and colorism. So yeah, let's jump right into it. Thank you so much for stopping by my channel. If this is not your first time, welcome back. If this is your first time, welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope that you do decide to join the family and stay by hitting that like button, that subscribe button, and of course ringing that bell. Now, as I always say, this is a very diverse channel. If you look around, you will see that I talk about some of everything. So make sure you turn on the notification bell, because I will be doing a part 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, however many parts I end up doing of this Being Ugly series. So if you're here for that, make sure you subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you will not miss when I post another video of this type. Regardless of how you're here, regardless of why you're here, make sure you turn on the notification bell so you won't miss any video. So just to put a disclaimer out there, I don't have any credentials. I am not a therapist. My degree is in criminal justice. I don't have any kind of training or anything to be able to call myself a life coach or motivator or anything like that. I am just a regular girl or woman who has experienced a lot of heartache in my life, who has struggled with things in my life all the way up into my late 20s to when I was introduced and when I really got to know who Jesus Christ was. And I do like to share my past experiences with people, because there are people who are still going through what I went through, who are still feeling what I felt. And I wish growing up that there was a YouTube or there was people out there who will open up and say, hey, this feeling that you're feeling, I felt that way. This too will pass, and this is how I got over it. So that's what I'm here for. A lot of people may not understand why I get online and I'm so candid online, but it's only because I wish I had this growing up, because I probably wouldn't have tried to take my life. I probably wouldn't have hated myself and done some of the things that I did if I knew that there were other people out there who had felt or who were feeling the same way that I felt. And sometimes when you're feeling a certain way, you can't verbalize it, you can't vocalize it, and then when you do try to explain it to people what you're feeling, they make you feel like you're wrong or you're off or something. But then when I was introduced to Jesus Christ and the love of Jesus Christ, it's like my whole world opened, my heart opened, not only for him but for myself. And so I just wanted to share that with you guys. Just want to share it with you guys, because if it only helps one person, then thank you, Jesus, for that. The way the Lord uses me to reach people or talk to people, a lot of people don't understand it, and that's okay. That's fine. It's not for them, but the people who do understand it, and the people who benefited from it, and the people who are introduced to the love of Jesus Christ through just me being vulnerable online, I praise God for them. So I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing as long as I'm not convicted about it, and he doesn't give me another assignment. I'm just gonna keep doing this, because especially with the pandemic, I can't go knock on people's doors and just go talk to them. All right, so I think that's my disclaimer in a nutshell and my explanation in a nutshell. Oh, for you trolls, come on to the front. So I do want to ask you, I know you're not going to do it, but I do want to ask you to watch the video in its entirety before commenting, because sometimes when you don't watch the video in its entirety and you decide to comment, and you end up looking like an idiot. And I'm all about love. I don't want that for you. I don't want you out here looking like an idiot. So watch the video in its entirety. If you cannot watch the video in its entirety, just come back and watch it later, or don't comment at all. This video is to talk about how I used to feel. The crazy thing is, a lot of the trolls get in the comments on my being ugly video and call me ugly. I'm like, I'm doing a video on being ugly, so you don't think I know that's what people think about me? You don't think I know that? But for just to let you know how it makes you look kind of not so bright, I'm on YouTube, a platform, a worldwide platform. Even though I don't get that many views, I'm on a worldwide platform with no makeup on, no weaves, no lace fronts, no contacts. I'm here on me. So that should let you know that I'm confident in who I am because God created me. He gave me this skin color. He gave me this hair. You know, he might didn't give me the few little extra pounds that I got, you know, but that's under control too. So I'm here, you know, I'm here being the person who God created me to be, and I'm not ashamed of it. And what I notice is a lot of people who comment in the comment section who call me ugly on a video where I talk about being called ugly. They don't even have a profile picture. It's like usually a letter or some kind of avatar, but it's not them. So I'm here. Say what you want to say. If you got a problem with the way I look, it's between you and God. It ain't got nothing to do with me. If you got a problem with the things that I say on my video, there are billions of people on YouTube. You can go watch them. This is not for you. So, shut up. All right, I love my skin color. I love my hair and everything that comes along with it now. But that wasn't always the case. I don't have any notes. I just write before, like about 5 minutes before I press record, I put a couple of little topics that I wanted to touch on. But I really don't have any notes because, like I said, I wasn't planning on doing this video. So if I ramble a lot, I apologize. Just stay with me. Get you some popcorn. Get you a drink. You know, preferably a non-alcoholic drink, some water, some cranberry juice or something. And let's just jump into this video. Let's just talk. So growing up, you already heard, if you saw my other two being ugly videos, and I'm sorry, I'm making sure that I'm in focus because with my glasses, my camera kind of struggles to focus on me, but I can't see my computer screen without my glasses, and I definitely can't see my little thing on butt. So I'm just keep looking down just to make sure I'm in focus. So but I was bullied mercilessly. You know, mercilessly? Is that how you say it? Y'all know I can't talk. But I was bullied mercilessly about my skin color. And I still have people to this day say things about my skin color. Because just like the other day, they had been outside, they had gotten a little dark or whatever, and you can see their little where their short, the little farmer's tan, where their shirt stops, and they were like light skin, and then on down they were dark skin, and it was like, well, from here to here I'm your color. And I'm like, and they said it like it was a bad thing, and I'm like, okay. And I stopped relaxing my hair the late 90s or early 2000s because I always wore braids all the time. Once the singer Brandy came out, I just really fell in love with braids. Really fell in love with braids. This is a dark skinned girl, and you know you really don't see that a lot on TV. The reason that let me go back. The reason that I wanted to do this video talking about colorism and texturism and what I experience is because I don't watch a lot of TV. When I do watch television, it's usually I'm on the ID channel watching like any kind of true crime shows on the ID channel, or either Oxygen watching like Snapped or Dateline or something like that, true crime series. And I was just kind of looking at each commercial that came on the other day when I was watching TV, and there was nobody on TV that looked like me. And I started thinking about most of the movies and the shows that I've seen, and there aren't people who look like me. There aren't a lot of dark-skinned women on television who have 4C hair. Like, they're mostly light-skinned women with curly hair or racially ambiguous women. Even looking at, I started to look up because I don't listen to, secular music. So I started looking up some artists, like the artists of 2021, the artists in 2020, just to see if there were artists out there that looked like me. If there were brown skin or dark skin artists out there, young women, they had the lace fronts. They were halfway naked. It's just like, nothing's changed. Because even with me being a dark skinned girl, I have been told by guys that I don't date dark skinned girls, but they will sleep with you, but they wouldn't date you, So yeah. And even with like the whole thing about the dark skin versus light skin, like this has been way back. This is centuries ago, back into slavery days, where you had the house Negro and you had the field Negro, and the house Negro thought it was better than the field Negro. But you're still slave. You're still you're still slave. Like, you may be in the house, I may be in the field, but we both slaves. So why are we fighting each other? And that's kind of the same way it is nowadays in society. You still have dark skin versus light skin. You still have a light skin superiority, and you still have, men will still, to this day. There was a video that I saw on YouTube where these girls were standing in a line, and they kept going to the dark skinned girls saying, I don't like dark skinned girls. I don't like dark skinned girls. And that is still the same way. And it's instilled in us. It was instilled in me since I was younger that, there was something wrong with being dark skinned. And my mom is very fair skinned, very light skinned. My dad is dark skinned. So I took almost everything from my dad. My complexion came from my dad. My hair type came from my dad. Everything came from my dad. But my mom was very, very fair skinned. Dark skinned kids, they realize at a very young age that there is something wrong with their skin. And if they have really kinky hair, they realize there's something wrong with their hair. It's put in us from a very early age. Like, when someone has a baby, and in the black community, this is what we do. People look at like the ears and right below the little cuticles. And if that part is dark, or if the ears are dark, you'll hear people say, because most black babies are born light skinned, automatically born light skinned. You will hear people say, that baby ain't gonna stay light like that. That baby gonna get dark. Or, I hope he don't get dark. His ears so dark. I hope he don't get dark. I saw this happen recently to someone who had a dark skinned child. And they had another child, and they were talking about, the ears being dark. Well, I hope she don't turn dark. I hope she keep her color. I hope she keep that good hair. While they have a dark skinned child sitting right here, and that child is soaking all that in. Like, what's wrong with being dark skinned? I'm dark skinned. What's wrong? Why don't they want my baby sister to be my color? What's wrong with my color? And people don't realize that that's a really big problem that we have in the black community is colorism. I'll do a whole nother video on colorism, but I'm just talking. Let me get back on me. It's the same thing when you have baby. I'm gonna get on me in a second, but it's the same thing when you have babies that have really thick, pretty, curly hair. They say things like, well, I hope her hair don't change. I hope her hair don't get nappy. I hope his hair don't get nappy. He had that good hair. I hope he keep that good hair. I hope he get that slick hair. Like a family member of mine, their child is like a year and a half, and they said something to me where they were like, I told you he was going to keep that good hair. Look, his hair is still slick. His hair is still slick. And they was talking about how they had to cut their other child's hair when their child was a year old because their child's hair was nappy. But this child's hair right here, they're not going to cut his hair because he still has good hair. And I'm sitting here like, your child's sitting right there. Your other child is sitting right there. Not only have you said something about the skin color of your daughter in front of your child, that you hope she stays light skinned in front of your child. Now you're saying something about his brother's hair being good and you not cutting his brother's hair, but cutting his hair because he had bad hair. What do you think that does to a little child, a young child? What do you think that does to a young child? But let me tell you about me. In the beginning, I grew up overseas. Earliest memory I have, I was born in Hawaii, but the earliest memory that I have is in Germany. That's the place that we stayed the longest before we moved to the States. So being in Germany, of course, you're not going to see a lot of people who look like you. I really don't remember seeing probably more than maybe 5 or so people who were black, who were black. I'm not gonna say who looked like me, but who were black. And so when I moved to the States, I had always been around white people. Even on the base where we live, there were 1 or 2 other black families, but because it was predominantly white, you had, even with playing with the other black child or children, there were white people there too. So it was majority of the time we played with white people. And when we moved to the States, I never really thought anything was wrong with my skin color, because there was I talked about the really pretty little girl who was at my school, and no one had ever told me I was pretty. But everyone always said, she was so pretty, she was so this, she was so that. And I noticed she had like this she was dark skinned, but she had like this jet black wavy hair. She had a small nose, and I really took note of that earlier on. But I never knew anything was wrong with my skin color. Now, we would have the German kids who would climb onto the wall around the base, and they would throw things over the wall, they would spit at us, and they would, say the N-word, but I mean, I never really understood it, And so when I moved to the States, I remember everyone kind of was, when you're first introduced to the classroom, like, they were like, okay, where are you from? Germany. Can you speak German? And then my teacher told me to count to 20, so I counted to 20 in German. And like, most people were really fascinated about it, but the black kids, they laughed at me. They literally laughed and picked on me. And even when we went out to recess, they was like, "Ein, swine, swine." They was just like picking at me, and I'm like, wow. So automatically, because that's who I was used to being around, I automatically navigated to the white kids. Go figure. I was actually excited when we moved to the States, and I walked in the classroom and I saw how many black kids there were in the classroom. I was like, man, this is going to be nice. But they made fun of me from day one. From the way that I spoke, the way that I dressed, everything, they made fun of me. And I tried to impress them. I remember this was first day of school. I remember when we were in gym, and I always have had really long hair, 4C hair, but it's always been really long hair. My mom said she started relaxing my hair when I was 4 or 5 years old. So, because she was like, your hair is too nappy. I couldn't do all that hair. I needed some help. But my mom would braid my hair down, and she would put these beads on my hair. You guys remember the beads. She put these clear beads on my hair. I like the colorful beads, but she wanted the clear beads or either black beads so that they would match whatever I put on. So my mom, she had braided I remember I had braids coming down like to the side. I think she like parted it here, and there was braids like coming all the way down. It was like 2 little layers. So I thought it was cute. So this black girl came to me, and she was like, you need to take that weave out your hair. And I'm like, I don't wear weave. And she was like, yes, you do. You need to take that weave out your hair. And so what I did was to try to prove and impress, and thinking that they would like me if they knew I didn't wear weave, I took my beads off my hair, I unplaited, I unbraided, and I'm happy. I'm like, see, it's not weave, thinking that, they will accept me if they knew I didn't wear weave in my hair, and this was really my hair. Maybe I'll win some points with black kids, because I wanted some black friends. I always had white friends my entire life. I wanted some black friends. And they laughed at me and said that my hair was nappy. That hurt me so much. So automatically, I hung around the white. I just navigated to the black, to the white kids. They accepted me. They never called me dark skin. They never called me ugly. They never called my hair nappy. So I went with who accepted me. I was called smutty black. I was called big nose. I was called nappy headed by the kids in my school. And keep in mind, I had a relaxer in my hair. So how can you call me nappy head and I have a relaxer? But you know, sometimes that new girl do be showing. But anyway, when I got older and I started dealing with illegal activities with my family, that's when I kind of started hanging around the black people. But outside of school, I would hang around black people, older black people. And during school, I only hung out with the white people. The black people, black women mostly in my school, they made fun of me so much. And the guys, you know what happened to me when I was 13 years old. You know, the grape that starts with an R. You know what that happened to me when I was 13 years old. And I just became that girl. I was always, a shapely girl, a girl with a nice shape. I'm not ashamed to say I was a girl with a nice shape, and I still am, y'all. But most of the guys, they would deal with me physically, but when in public, they always wanted to have the light-skinned girl as their girlfriend. But I was the one that they messed with behind the scenes. But they never wanted to make me their girlfriends. They always had light-skinned or mixed or white girls as a girlfriend, but never me as a girlfriend. But they would think it was okay to be physical with me. So that did a lot for me, because I noticed how, the light-skinned girls were treated as opposed to how I was treated. Like the light-skinned girls, they were pretty enough to be the girlfriend and to walk around with at the football games and the basketball games. But, you only wanted me, at night or whatever. I'm just being transparent with you guys. So just imagine what that would do to one's psyche. It got so bad, and I was made fun of so much about my skin color, my hair. I had sworn off. I said, I will not have a black child. If I have a child, my child is going to be mixed. I am not having no black child. Especially if it's a girl, maybe she'll have a chance. Maybe she'll come out with lighter color skin. Maybe she'll come out with, looser curly hair. Her hair won't be nappy like mine. So I had sworn off black guys. Sworn off. When I moved to Atlanta, I will only date white guys. Well, dating white guys kind of started in high school, when I started dealing with white guys. But when I moved to Atlanta, I dated Hispanic, Latino guys. I dated an Asian. I dated white guys. I dated mixed guys. But I would not date black guys at all, because I was so afraid that, if I was intimate with them, if we did end up getting married, then I would have a child who would have to suffer what I would have to suffer. I know I would love my child, but I didn't want my child, especially a girl, to be bullied the way that I was bullied, just because her skin wasn't the right complexion, just because her hair wasn't the right texture. So I made up my mind, like, I'm done. I'm done with black guys. I am done with black guys. So for a while, I went through the phase where I just wouldn't date in my race. If it was my race, it was half my race. But I went through this thing where I bleached my skin. I wore weaves. I wore contacts. I just wanted to completely change myself. And I noticed that when I bleached my skin, I put a picture of you because I was pretty light. When I bleached my skin, when I wore the weaves, when I wore the contacts, more black guys were attracted to me. But I'm like, no. You wouldn't give me the time of day before I bleached my skin. You wouldn't give me the time of day when, I had my hair out, because I started relaxing my hair in early 2000s, late 90s is when I started relaxing my hair. I wore braids all the time. You weren't checking for me with my dark skin and my braids. But now I got the long weaves, and I bleached my skin, and I got on the green, the purple, the blue, or the gray contacts. Now you're checking for me. But I'm like, no, I don't date black guys. I don't do it. But the crazy thing is before I bleached my skin, before I start wearing the long weaves, white guys loved me. It was so crazy that white guys will accept me with my dark skin, with my 4C hair, but the black guys wouldn't. Because all they saw was a dark skinned, nappy headed girl. Fast forward to, I think, about 2008. I moved to my town that I'm in now. I moved here in 2007. And I was introduced to a guy on my job who goes to my church. And he introduced me to my church. I went to my church, and I will never forget it. It's like, I remember like it was yesterday. My pastor, he was preaching on Jeremiah 33:3. And he said, "For I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore with my love and kindness have I drawn thee." And that message resonated with me, because he was saying Jesus loves you so much. He created you the way that you are. He died on the cross and he loves you. And I realized that everything that I had been looking for, it was there. It was there. It was in Jesus Christ. It was in the word. He loves me more than anybody. I can be dark skinned. He loved me. I can be nappy headed, as they say, and he loved me. He created me in his image and his likeness. So eventually, once I realized who Jesus was, and I began to really love myself, I began to really allow Jesus to pour his love into me, where I began to love him. And I can't love him without loving me. So I stopped bleaching my skin. I'm pretty sure my church members saw major transformation in me, because I was lighter when I started going to church there, because I was bleaching my skin. I had the long weaves in my head. I had the contacts. Like, for years, people thought my eyes were really green. Like, for real. Even after I stopped bleaching, the last thing that I would hold on to was my contacts. I stopped wearing the weaves. I stopped wearing I stopped dressing the way that I was dressing. I stopped bleaching my skin, but I could not, for some reason, I could not let go of my contacts. But then one day, another message came, and my pastor, he was just preaching on, how Jesus gives us what he wants us to have. If he wants us to have XYZ, if he wants us to have green eyes, or he wants us to have blue eyes, or he created us the way he wanted us to be. And this body right here doesn't matter. And we don't know what we're going to look like at the end, but we know we're going to be just like him. All this is going to go back to the dirt. All this means nothing. It's the spirit man. It's the inner man. So we're taking all this time to perfect something that's dead. We're so obsessed with making our flesh look a certain way, when Jesus is looking at our spirit. He's looking at our inner man. And I'm like, man, it just really helped me to realize, like, this right here, he created me. He gave me these brown eyes, black eyes. He gave me these eyes. Like, why am I hiding them? He gave me this hair. Why am I hiding it? So eventually the contacts came out. And ever since then, it's been smooth sailing. Ever since then, I'm like, whatever. When I first went natural wasn't a thing. Natural was not a thing. It was not even called natural. It was called nappy headed. And you would have people that would say things like, everybody can't go natural. Everybody ain't got the kind of hair to go natural. And they're usually talking about someone who has 4C hair. Even in the natural community is so toxic. The natural hair community is so toxic. Let me tell you, when you Google, Instagram search, whatever, put in natural hair, type in natural hair. Okay, hold on, I'm gonna do it for you. All right, so you see what I mean? There was some people with 4C hair, but majority of the people you saw loose curly hair. And when I first went natural, I didn't know anything about the little scale, AC, 4C, whatever, 3C, whatever you call it. I didn't know anything about that. But I found this YouTuber on, I'm not going to say her name. I found this YouTuber, and she's now in stores, and I do buy her products, her like grow oil, and I have locks, so a lot of her products I can't use, like her grow oil and her conditioner, things like that. I do actually buy that from her. Leave-in conditioner is amazing. I do buy those things from her. But I don't want to put her out there like that as far as how it used to be. I remember I found her, and I remember her hair looked somewhat like mine, but it was a little like less dry looking, more shiny, and her curls were a little bit more, they weren't as tight as mine. So someone in the comments told her she didn't have 3C hair, 4A hair. She had more like 4B and 4C hair. And when I say she went off, she went off. And I'm like, what's this 4CA? So that's when I looked it up online, and I saw the 4C hair. And I'm like, that's the kind of hair that I have. Why would she go off on people by saying that she has the kind of hair that I have? I'm like, what's wrong with having this type of hair? And she was like, I know what kind of hair I have, blah, blah, blah. I don't have no 4C hair. And I'm like, she was so offended by someone saying she had 4C hair. And that made me feel some type of way, because I'm like, I have that type of hair. That's describing my hair. Like, what's wrong with it? Why are you upset? And that's when I realized that even the natural hair community is a problem with having 4C hair. Even with the hair products. Before I got wise to this, I would see that when I first went natural, there was no natural hair products. Like, you can't just go in the store and get natural hair products like you can today. You can go to Kroger and get natural hair products. You can go to Walmart. But I had someone in Atlanta, they told me about Carol's daughter. But the only way to get Carol's daughter at the time was to order it online. So I used Carol's daughter for years. That's all I knew when it came to natural hair. So I started seeing these commercials and these YouTube videos and all these different hair products that people were using for natural hair. I'm like, man, I want my hair to look like that. So let me go out and buy these products. It took a while for me to get wise to it. Is a lot of the hair care product commercials that you see, they're usually people who have looser curly hair or mixed type hair. It took me a while before I realized, like, why isn't my hair doing like mine? Ain't doing like hers. It just shrunk right back up. It look a little, it's shiny. My curls look popping, but I wanted my hair to be like the girl on YouTube. Like, but it took me a while to realize, even when you pay attention, when you look at the hair care commercials nowadays, you're not going to see someone who looks like me with the hair commercials. Every blue moon, you might see someone who looks like me. But even with the dark skinned girls, like, they have hair like Chili from TLC, like, they're dark skinned, but they have really loose type curly hair. It is rare that you're going to find even some of my favorite hair care products. I don't want to put them out there, but I see their commercials on YouTube. I see their commercials, and I'm like, I use your products. You have yet to show someone who has my type of hair. You have yet to put someone in your videos who have my type of hair. And it's disheartening. And it doesn't matter to me anymore. But in the beginning, it used to bother me. But it doesn't bother me anymore. I do what I can. I don't really put any money into a lot of hair care products. I found what works for me. I try to support other people, but if their products doesn't work for me, then their products just don't work for me. I have to go with what works for me in my hair. I have really gotten into essential oils, so it's not all this, I'm buying this or I'm buying that from that person, but it's just the essential oils is what I'm into now. So it took me a while to get to this point where I can show my face. And I tried wearing makeup. Makeup to me made me feel worse. It was like so much that I had to do, like, the stuff that I see on TV now, like the waterless mascara. Like, I couldn't cry because, I didn't want my mascara to run. Or, sometimes I would go and hug people and, like, some of my makeup would, like, be on their shirt and stuff like that. I'm like, God, it was just too much. I never was a person who liked makeup. To this day, I don't like makeup. I believe makeup it's just not for me, especially with this type of skin that I have. I finally got my skin to where, if you can't see, I finally got my skin to where it's pretty clear. And I realized that a lot of the stuff that I was putting on my skin when I was wearing makeup, it was clogging my pores and it was causing me to have even more breakouts. And a lot of people that I look at online who are makeup artists, like, I watch the A lot of the true crime YouTubers that do the makeup, and not just Bailey, but there are others that do the makeup and murder mystery series and makeup and true crime series, and I know they're always talking about how bad their skin is breaking out, and I'm like, stop using the makeup. Because when I stopped using makeup and I started eating better, that's really what caused my skin to really clear up. Makeup just wreak havoc on my skin. Put my glasses back on now. But that's pretty much all I had to share with you in this video. There's some more things that I want to talk about, but I don't want this video to be too long, because like I said, I wasn't planning on doing a video. So with me recording it, that means I have to edit it, and that was not in my schedule for this week. So I don't want this video to be too long, but I just want to let you know that Jesus loves you. He created you the way that you are. And I know there's a lot of people out there that they will come in and they will let me know, I don't believe the way that you believe, and that's fine. But I want to say that Jesus is real. Jesus is real. And it's not something that someone told me. This is something that I experienced. His spirit is real. His spirit, how do I explain this? I have tried different types of recreational drugs. Never tried, heroin or anything like that. But I have tried I never tried heroin or anything like that, but I have tried recreational drugs. I used to get drunk. I popped ecstasy before. I've done all these things, and none of them have compared to just the peace and the even excitement and the joy and the happiness that you feel, when you feel Jesus' spirit. There's nothing like it. It is unmatched. And when he showers you with his spirit, you feel so much love, like a love that you've never felt before, a love that I've never felt before. And that's what it's all about. Like, people worship other gods, but what God has died on the cross for your sins? What God loves you that much to give up his own? Most people don't even want to kick their grown behind kids out of the house. That's an inside thing. I'm sorry. Lord forgive me. But seriously, most people don't even want to kick their grown behind kids out of the house. God gave us Jesus, his only son, and let his son die, be killed for us. Like, what other kind of love is there? The love is unparalleled. The love is unmatching. I just abhor you. I abhor you to try him out. Try Jesus. Just try him. And he'll meet you halfway. If you take one step, he's going to take two. But you got to take that step. And that love and that peace that you're looking for is not going to be found in a man. It's not going to be found in a woman. You can buy all the makeup out there in the world. You can buy all the lace fronts out there in the world. But there is nothing like Jesus. Nothing's going to make you feel that love and that peace that Jesus is going to make you feel. Nothing. I can tell you, I've tried it. I've tried the weaves. I've tried the makeup. I've tried all the other things that are out there. But it's Jesus. It's Jesus. I never really loved myself, and I didn't get to the point where I can sit in front of you guys now, complete natural hair, no makeup, and just tell you guys about my life. That boldness and that just ability to be vulnerable is what I feel like I'm meant to do. I feel like I didn't go through all that HE double hockey sticks in my life to sit down and be ashamed of it, because there are people who are going through what I'm going through today. They're going through this very same thing, having these very same thoughts, thinking about taking their own lives. I've been there, and I'm telling you, this too will pass. It will pass. But you're going to have to surrender to Jesus. Start reading, start praying. If you start praying, just saying a quick 5-minute prayer every day. Reading, even if you just read a scripture every day and then try to build on it, you'll begin to see all those feelings of worthlessness, all those feelings of worthlessness, all those just everything, all those bad things that you feel that weigh down on you. You will see that when you let Jesus in, he'll begin to take those things off of you. And I've dealt with other religions, and this is real. This is it. This is real. It's like Ray Charles say, "You got the right one, baby." Y'all probably too young to remember that, but it's real. So I just wanted to come and share that with you guys. Like I said, I was probably all over the place in the video because I have no notes. And I do want to revisit the colorism and texturism thing again. If you want me to do a more in-depth video, because y'all know I love history, y'all know I love researching, y'all know I got the history for you guys behind all this stuff. So if you want me to do a more in-depth video just talking about texturism and colorism and just even the toxicity of the natural hair community, let me know. I will. I'm probably gonna do it anyway. But thank you so much, guys, for watching. And as usual, toodaloo. Bye-bye.